with an ablative absolute or with a participle, you have to say it actively. And to talk about something that's prior to the action of the main verb, you have to talk about it passively. Because we don't have a perfect active participle and we don't have a present passive participle. So we would say after he said these things. Latin has to say after these things had been said.
Okay.
Because you can't say with him having said these things because you don't have a perfect active participle. And so to talk about something prior to the main verb, you have to switch it from active to passive.
Okay.
Think about it actively. So yeah. English has more options than Latin in this regard. Okay, but other than that, we're doing okay. Good. Well then, let's translate. And who wants to start?
Yes, I can start.
Okay.
Number 30. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, I guess I was confused with this one. Because this is a ablative absolute, this first clause, right? Yeah, it's just I don't really see like a main verb or.
What do you mean? In the ablative absolute or in the main clause?
In the ablative absolute.
So by main verb you mean participle?
I think so.
Okay. You don't see a participle?
No, I don't. I see a comparative,
Yeah.
and then I see two nouns. I see oh, unless factis is the participle. Okay, so
From facio facere feci factus.
to do, right?
Yeah.
To make. Okay.
Yeah.
So so after the wise judgments, or I'm sorry, the rather wise counsel was made.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He
Or
carried.
after the council was made more certain, was ascertained, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Then he carried away gifts from the queen and brought them to her country.
Rege?
Is that kingdom or king? That's king, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah. Rex is a king. So T-Rex is a
Yeah.
king of the prehistoric world, I guess. Dinosaurus king. Yes. Okay, so who took something from the king? Did you say he or she?
I said, well, it's he, she, or it. I'm not sure.
Yeah. No, I'm just. It doesn't matter. But what did you say?
Okay. Yeah, I said he carried away gifts from
the king, and brought them ad suam patriam. To whom does the sua refer?
The ad suam. Oh, I guess that would be feminine, right?
Well, so then it's an adjective, so it's feminine accusative singular, but it's a feminine accusative singular because it's modifying patria.
Patria, country,
Yes.
right?
The person to whom it refers, this could be masculine, this person could be a man, this person could be a woman, this could not be a person, it could be a thing, or it could be plural, men, women, or things. So the third person reflexive, to whom does that always refer?
The third person reflexive always refers to
The subject of the sentence.
The subject of the sentence.
Reflexive
Oh, that's right.
bends
Okay.
back to the subject. So if it's he, unless you said, she had brought gifts from the king, but he brought gifts from the king, and he took gifts from the king and brought them to his own.
Oh, okay.
It's the guy who abstulit and atulit. That guy's country.
Okay.
If it was some other person's country, it would be eius. Eius means of him, and that refers to someone who's not the subject. But suusau refers to the subject of the main verb.
Okay.
Good. Rachel?
Okay, so for 31, I had this soldier, having been joined in great friendship, waged war with courage. Or waged war with courage.
Yeah. Now, I don't think you translated militi.
Or I thought that was, so having been joined in friendship to the soldier.
Oh, did you say to the soldier? I just didn't.
I don't know if I actually said it, but I have it written.
Okay.
I swear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, it's very interesting. You said in great friendship, and that's possible, actually.
Okay.
But more likely is magna cum virtute, because just like magna cum laude, we often put the adjective right before the preposition and then the noun afterwards.
Okay.
So magna probably goes with virtute, but it's not impossible that it could go with amicitia.
So it'd be the soldier, having been joined in friendship to the soldier, waged war with great courage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
That does sound better.
Yeah. Okay. Nathan? And of course, if you have any questions that we don't cover, always ask. Never be shy.
Okay. The wife gave aid, or the wife, the wife came to the aid of this guardian, a great man of character, a great man of courage and famous character, in order that he might not, I didn't, that's all
Okay. So, yes, the spouse cognates, right? Meaning spouse. I mean, we will now interpret it as wife, but it's just like the English spouse. It just means person you're married to. So the spouse came to the aid of that guardian. Eli, remember, Kekekok is this. Ila, Ilud is that.
Okay.
That guardian. A man. Now, what did you say? How did you describe him?
A man of great courage and famous character.
Yeah. So a man of great courage and famous in regards to his character.
Yeah.
Okay, so she helped him. She came to his aid.
In order
Nay, that he not
that
what?
he not be condemned.
Be condemned. And do you remember in what case you can be condemned for things or of things in Latin?
Passive? Oh, you mean case.
There's a something of the charge or the accusation. In what case that is?
Oh, accusative? I don't know. That's nouns. I don't know. I said that.
We are dealing with nouns. It's genitive. I think this might be the first actual genitive that you learned. Yes. So Unit 2, the genitive with verbs of accusing and condemning. So you are charged of something in Latin, and then you are condemned of something. In English, we're charged with something and condemned for something, I guess. But it's a genitive in Latin. Okay. So she came to his aid so that he would not be condemned.
So for the destruction of the city.
Well, where's destruction?
Delete.
Deletai is not destruction. It's not a noun. Deletusaum is a fourth principal part. So
to be condemned.
Mm-hmm.
By.
Well,
I don't know.
You're condemned for something. For something in the genitive case. What's in the genitive case in this?
Of.
Yeah, what are the words in Latin that are in genitive?
Insidious?
Nope, insidious is not genitive.
Oh, urbis.
Orbis and deletai. Orbis deletai, right?
Yeah.
And orbis is what gender? What gender is this city?
That is masculine.
Nope, feminine. So deletai is agreeing in gender number in case with orbis.
So it's feminine.
Mm-hmm. So deletai is the perfect passive participle agreeing with orbis. So he be not condemned, that he be not be condemned
for the destroyed city.
For the destroyed city, and then we have to find out how it was destroyed. The city destroyed insidiis by the insidiis.
By the treachery.
Ostium.
Of treachery of the enemy.
Exactly.
Okay.
Do you see how that works?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I don't know.
Well, eum enim monuit.
So that's fortify. So
no. Munio is to fortify. Moneo.
It's to change or warn. No, it's to
warn. Yes, an admonition is a warning to somebody.
Mm-hmm. So he warned.
Well, probably his wife. So she warned him.
She warned him.
Consilia costume urbe mala esse. So what kind of construction do we have?
I don't know.
Esse?
That's and is that an indirect?
Yeah. Indirect what?
Statement.
Indirect statement. Great.
So she warned him. Now, is that advice or like counsel?
Yeah.
Okay. So she warned him.
That, right?
Oh, okay. So she warned him that advice of the advice of the advice of the enemy in the city was bad.
Yeah, and everything except in the city. He warned him that the advice of the enemy was evil, and then not in urbe, that would be in the city, but urbi is not ablative. What case is that?
That is dative.
Yeah, so she warned him that the plans of the enemy were bad
Bad for the city.
for the city. Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
I have a little
Yes.
question on that one.
Yes.
So hostium, wouldn't that be plural?
Yes.
Okay.
But we say often in English the enemy to mean plural. We don't mean the
Okay.
enemy like one guy, but we say like the enemy was advancing. We don't mean
Okay.
like one enemy troop was walking.
Yeah.
We mean
Yeah.
the host,
The
the
troops.
enemies.
Yeah. Okay.
Latin says the enemies.
Mhm.
But we in English often say the enemy to mean a singular for plural.
Okay.
But you may say enemies if you like. It's not
Okay.
wrong. It's not bad English. It's fine. Other questions?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. So, part of the people, they fled to the house with wisdom.
mhm.
So, is that like they wisely fled to the house?
Yeah. Yes.
Um, whereas another part,
Mm-hmm.
let's see, they waged war. They waged a war on account of boldness,
Yeah.
on account of their boldness.
Yes. Yeah. Audacity, audaciousness.
Yeah,
Those are all
nice.
derivatives.
So, is it
Um,
okay to kind of take liberty and say like, on account of their boldness? Is that
yes,
okay?
absolutely.
Okay, okay.
Just as we add in articles, for example, often in Latin, if it's
Oh,
clear
that's
whose we're talking about, we don't say his, her, theirs. In English, we do, just because, you know, in the hands he held the book, right? That sounds weird to us. In Latin, it's like, well, of course he's not holding his book in anybody else's hands, so you don't need to specify
mm,
his hands. Yeah. So that's
okay.
totally-
Quick question on that one.
Please.
Where did the whereas come from?
We have two sentences beginning with pars, and
Okay.
it's clearly a contrasting sense.
Okay.
It was a little bit artistic. It's not actually there, but
Okay.
it's clearly on the one hand this, on the other hand that sort of statement.
Okay.
So
Got it.
yeah, Rachel.
Okay.
Right.
This one was one that I did not finish.
Okay.
So the main. So in the whole world, never he moves towards get on and high. Okay, so we won't is well, there's two clauses there. So you would start with the first. Erantes is a present infinitive to
Errare. Errare. No.
erantes.
Errantes? Yeah. Errare is the present. infinitive.
Sorry, present participle.
Yeah.
Okay. So present participle error. So in the whole world, never have I seen,
Mhm.
or never have I seen total airing, like all
Well,
air.
tot,
What's the other conjugation of air? It's
ero, errare is first. That's first.
okay.
So, tot. Yeah, does anyone remember what this means?
All?
No.
Whole or so many.
So many. Tot means so many. And quote means as many. But we don't say so many as many in English. We say so many as. So tot will translate so many, and then quote will just say as. Although you can see tot and quote are very much related.
Okay. So many, as in, as they,
As we were as we want.
we want, as, so it's the present, active participle.
You mean indicative?
Sorry, yes. Okay, so many as they had seen in this city.
What does we want? How did you translate we want this?
Vivuntes.
How did you translate the last word? We want.
Oh, I translated it as to see, but that's not right because that would
Right.
be vide. So we
were. Oh. If you revive someone, you bring them back to.
Oh, life.
You vivify, that means to bring life to. And I think vivid must mean
Okay.
living, a vivid color. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
So as they had or live in this city.
Okay. Now start again and make that good English.
Okay.
So in the whole world, literally in the whole circle of the lands, but we won't say that.
So,
in the whole world.
Never have I seen so many errors as I have.
So many what? Errantes?
I'm sorry, because.
What did you say? I just didn't.
Sorry, errors, but I thought like that was to err, like to.
Yes, yeah, is to err. So errores would be errors. Errantes are what?
Erran.
What gender number and case is that participle?
So it's a present, and then it's third conjugation or third declension, and then the es is the nominative plural, or because one of them is the macron, or the accusative plural.
Yeah, they actually look the same. They both have macrons.
Okay.
we have to see somebody or something. So probably it's accusative masculine, accusative plural. So
Okay.
in the whole world, we have never seen so many errantes. What?
Wanderers?
Wanderers,
Okay.
people who are wandering, or people who are in error, right?
Yes.
And have both of those. Okay. So people, so many wanderers, so many wandering people, as we once in Hakurbe.
Have lived in this city.
It's a present indicative, so don't make it perfect.
Are living in this city.
As live in this city, yes.
Okay.
Okay, and now we're going to learn in the next sentence whether they are literally wandering or morally wandering.
Okay.
Intellectually wandering. Right, if you stray from the right path, that literally you can also stray from the truth and therefore be in error.
Uh-huh. So he
Alias?
I was thinking Optat.
Yes, but alias is the subject of Optat.
Oh, okay. So another.
Yeah,
Other.
and alius, Latin says another. We say one and another.
Okay.
So alius, one guy does this, another guy does that. Latin says one, another does this, another does that. One of two does this.
Okay.
Another two of that does that. Yeah.
Okay. So one desires war.
To inferre bellum.
To inferre. To inferre. I'm thinking infer, but that's not right.
Yeah, but what does ferre mean?
To bring or carry or
so to bring
make
or in. Meaning
Okay.
Again, so you can figure out what that means.
Okay, so bring war. So just to create war or just bring war?
Yeah, inflict war, bring
Okay.
war against, initiate war. Yeah.
Okay. So initiate war to the brave race.
How brave are they?
Braver.
Yeah, maybe here stronger, right? This is
Okay.
where he's being in error. Right? One guy wants
Okay.
to begin war with stronger nations. Alius, another guy.
Another guy without skill and aid. Would you still use desires to overcome the whole world?
Yeah,
okay.
Because we don't have a main verb, so we can just repeat that.
Okay. So desires to overcome the whole world.
Okay, those are dumb ideas, right?
Yes.
Okay, so these are errantes and not literal, like they're off the path, but they're off the path of reason.
Okay.
Nullus homo negat se omnia facere posse.
So, nullus person or so no no, but that doesn't agree with person.
Yeah, it does. What's the lexical entry for person?
Homo hominus.
Hominus.
So that makes it third declension.
Yeah. Masculine.
So that's the nominative singular. Okay, yeah. Okay, so
Remember Homo
No
sapiens. That means wise man.
mhm.
Nobody, right, as we would say, no person, nobody.
Okay.
Negat.
Negate, contradict.
Yeah, denies.
Okay, denies.
Se omnia facere posse. What construction do we have?
Se omnia. So all. So then we had. I'm not sure on that.
Well, so we have say, which is a pronoun. In what case?
Yeah. Say is a pronoun in the accusative or ablative.
Yeah. And then posse is what?
Infinitive.
Yeah.
So. With all. Oh no, that's infinitive. So it's not the ablative absolute.
Okay. So accusative, infinitive.
All being made.
Yeah. What's the accusative infinitive construction? When do we have to use accusative subject and infinitive verb? Or, do you remember?
Can you ask that again? Sorry.
When do we have to use accusative infinitive construction? What does that mean?
Accusative infinitive construction.
Accusative subject, infinitive verb.
Oh, yeah. Indirect command.
Nope. Indirect something, though.
Speech.
Yes. Indirect
Statement.
statement. So there are three types of indirect
Okay.
speech. Indirect commands, indirect questions, and indirect statements. So indirect statements.
Okay. So with the indirect statement, don't you have to have a main verb, or is that just for the indirect command?
What do you mean in main verb?
Because it's like main verb, accusative subject, infinitive.
Yeah. Yeah. Negat is he denies. That's main verb.
Okay.
So nobody denies that se posse facere omnia.
That
Yeah.
Say would be the reflexive.
So make it mean the same person as nobody denies that nobody.
Nobody denies themselves all their.
You have to say that.
That. Posse is.
Okay, so say can't be themselves. Like that doesn't.
Okay.
That's not good English.
Yeah.
Nobody denies that. How do we say that?
Just they.
Yeah. Nobody denies that they posse.
Able to. I just don't have that vocab word in my head right now. They.
Posse.
Yeah, it's the irregular, so it's to be able to. So.
Yeah. Nobody denies that.
They are able to and then facere,
Yeah.
do all.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So what does everybody? No one is willing to deny what?
That they can do everything.
They can do everything, right?
Okay.
Clearly these are not errantes in a literal sense. They are, I mean, in a physical sense, right? It is a literal. They're
Mhm.
totally off their rockers, right? Okay. In the city, in Hamburg. Good. Questions about that? Facere is in parentheses because you could actually have negat se omnia posse, and that would be something like nobody denies that they are capable of everything. But they thought
Okay.
throwing in facere would make it a little easier for you, which I think
Yeah.
good. Nathan?
Okay. I kind of got the first part, and then the second part I had trouble with. So I'll read what I got. The enemy being joined by treaty. One man from the fighting denied that he wanted to wage war, and that's all I got.
Okay. So hostibus foedere iunctis, what construction is that?
That's what we've just been doing. I forgot what it's called, but
Yeah.
the
What case is this?
the ablative absolute.
Ablative absolute. Good.
Yeah.
So with the enemies having been joined in treaty, now ex pugnantibus, what did you say?
I said one man from the fighting.
So from the fighting sounds like a noun. The fighting sounds like a noun to me in English. But a participle is not a noun, it's a verbal adjective.
That is true.
So you're going to have to supply a noun in English to clarify that this is a participle and not.
Well, what about one man?
Well, unus is one man. Yeah. But pugnantibus.
And what there's that X there, so I don't. That's like from, so that's why I said that.
Yeah. I'm not contesting the X. I'm just saying pugnantibus, you translated it as if it were a noun.
Okay.
One guy from the fighting.
Yeah.
No, he walked out of the fighting. That's a noun.
Okay.
We want pugnantibus to be a participle.
So the one man fighting.
Nope, that would be pugnans fighting. So
that would be the one man going to fight.
Is pugnantibus? Can that possibly modify him?
Oh no, because it's plural.
It's plural, masculine, ablative. Okay, can't agree with unus.
Gotcha.
So.
All right.
So if you have a participle that's floating without a noun, what noun do you supply in English? Just like all adjectives.
Thing or man?
Thing or man. Okay, so one guy from the what?
One man from the war. I don't see anything. What would be there?
Well, no. We just said you don't see anything, so you have to supply one in English. What is it? The fighting men, or the fighting women, or the fighting things?
One man from the fighting things. I don't know where you're at. I'm not sure.
Well, one man from amongst the things fighting, or one man from amongst the men fighting, which makes more sense.
Men fighting.
Yeah. So one from those fighting, one of those fighting. One from among.
Yeah, see, I don't think I'll ever be able to like pick that out. That just like when I look at that, I don't know how that.
Well, okay, so what you know kunyans is fighting, but
Right.
fighting in English is both a noun and an adjective.
Right.
The fighting was fierce. Is that a noun or an adjective?
Fighting was the fighting was isn't it, are you saying fighting or
Yeah, is fighting a noun or an adjective in that
it's an
sentence?
adjective or it's a no, it's a noun.
It's a noun. What was fierce? The fighting.
was fierce.
Right, that's the noun. Whereas in the fighting children were sent to their rooms. Is that a noun or an adjective?
That's an adjective because
That's an adjective. What
yeah.
kind of kid?
Fighting kid.
Yeah, fighting kid. Yeah.
I mean,
So-
I get that. It's just like hard when I see Unos X, Punat, or Pugnatibus. It's like how I see it now that you say it. Like the one man from the fighting of those men fighting. Like I see that, or of those fighting. Like I see that now that you say that. But when I'm looking at that fresh, I don't know how to ever like concoct that in my head. It's like.
Well, if you see an adjective.
I'm sorry, I'm rubbing off on
Words. If you see an adjective without a noun, you have to tell yourself, I need to make sure I put a noun into English because
Okay.
most of the time we can't just use an adjective without a noun or at least a pronoun. We could say from those fighting, right? And that's fine. Or from the fighting ones or from the men fighting, right? We can say any of those things.
Okay. I mean, and it's just funny too because right here there's two adjectives. Like one describes like one man, and then fighting describes those or men or whatever. So it's like seeing those two. It's like, where's the noun? I don't know. Like what's
Yep.
Like I just does this like yeah. So I mean I get it now that you say it and like I see it here, but it's just nice.
Yeah. So one from those fighting men, as you said, was denying that he you didn't translate umquam?
No, I said ever.
Oh, okay. Well,
I denied that he ever wanted war.
yes. And then
wanted
we say is what tense of the
that's perfect.
yeah, so to be very strict, you'd say one guy was denying that he had ever
wanted to wage war. Okay. And then yeah, I didn't even get to this part. So they
yeah. So sibi gerendum fuisse, vidibus aquae modibus malis regis. Where's our main verb? Good question.
I don't know. Is it? I mean, fuisse?
Fuisse is a what?
Infinitive.
Yeah, so we don't have an indicative, and so we're going to just presume that we're continuing the indirect discourse, the indirect statement that was begun earlier. So what else did he say? Well, he said that gerendum fuisse.
So he said that. So
that
they.
I think the bellum is the subject. The war.
So they said that war.
Mm-hmm.
Gerendum.
So
I'm not sure.
fuisse, what's fuisse?
To have been.
To have been.
Yeah.
And then gerendum.
Waged.
Having to be waged. So
having to be waged.
That it had been having to be waged, so that it had to have been waged.
Had to have been waged. Yeah.
Yep. I think that's correct English. It had to have been waged. Sibi.
Had.
We have a dative of agent with the passive paraphrastic. It had to have been waged.
Had to have been waged. By them.
By them, or it's one guy speaking, so by him.
Yeah, so by him.
Viribus atque moribus malis.
So by him
With the
by him with me and
with me.
no, I don't know how to say that. With waged with men.
Viris are men.
Oh, that was strength.
Viribus are strength. Yes.
With strength.
With strength and malis moribus.
And with strength and character.
Now, what kind of character? Malis.
Bad character.
The bad character, Regus.
Of the and the bad character of the king.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Good.
Can we hear that smoothed out a little?
Yeah, we can try. So after the enemies had been joined with the treaty, one of the combatants, which is how I'm going to render from those fighting, one of the combatants said that he had never wanted to wage war. Rather, he had to wage war because of the strength and evil character of the king.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think your book, I'm sure your book told you this, but I will repeat it. Latin says nego. And we should not translate that as deny all the time. We should translate it as say not.
Oh, okay.
Like if you say he said that he wasn't coming to dinner, Latin would use nego. If you translate that, he denied that he was coming to dinner. That adds some odd suspiciousness to the English that isn't there in Latin. So nego is a word that means to say that something isn't the case. Deny adds something more that we don't always want in Latin.
Okay.
Okay, Gloria.
Yeah. So this one, I mean, I just didn't know how to connect the two clauses and to make it a question. But so the first clause I have as the master considered her on account of her assets.
Dokuit is taught, right?
Oh, taught. Okay, so he taught her.
No.
Okay,
no,
sorry.
Quamobrem. I hope your dictionary talked about this. It means on account of what thing.
Oh, okay. So.
Which means why.
Okay. So this so far would be.
Yeah, Quamobrem just translates as why. For what reason? But we can just say why.
That's right. I did see that. So that would be like, why did the master teach on account of the thing?
Just why did the master teach? And then we've got Quamobrem Magister Dokuit. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So whom did he teach?
Or
Or
he taught the. Sorry.
Sorry. So then we see erantem verbi sapientium in locem ducendum esse. So what kind of construction do we have?
This would be a. Indirect. Indirect statement.
So
okay, so
he taught that the accusative subject, infinitive verb, and then fill in the rest.
So he taught that. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. That throws everything out. Okay, that I had. Because I kind of see what's going on. I mean, I had um, he is about to be led from error by
Yeah,
the
or
words of wisdom into the light.
yeah, very close. So the passive periphrastic often has a sense of obligation. So he taught that the errantem, who is that?
Um, the wanderers,
Yeah, the man
or the
in
wanderer.
error,
Yeah, the
the
man in error.
wanderer
Okay.
or the man in error, ducendum esse, has to be led.
Okay. Into the light by the wise words, or
Well,
by
it's
the
not,
words of wisdom.
well, not quite, because that would be sapientiae. If it's sapientia, that wisdom is a first declension. Sapientium is not, is not a first declension ending, so it can't be coming from sapientia. So what is it?
Sapientium. Yeah, I thought it was a third declension,
Mm-hmm.
plural
Yeah.
genitive.
Yeah. Meaning?
I don't know how I would translate that.
Well,
Of the wisdoms.
But sapiens does not mean wisdom. It's not an abstract noun.
So it's of the wise ones?
Of the wise ones. Of the wise people. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the man in error must be led into light by the words of wise men, or by the words of the wise.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Rachel?
Okay. I think I got this one.
Okay.
With the signal having been given, the women with the greatest form brought themselves together in flight.
Yes. So the women with the greatest form, but what kind of ablative would you say?
Ablative of that's a dative of possession. Ablative of
On page
manner?
156. Ablative of description. So what kind of women were they? They were women characterized by
having the greatest form.
Extreme beauty. So
Okay.
The women of the greatest beauty, the most beautiful
Okay.
women, we would say, the women of the greatest beauty. And yes, now this is a Latin phrase, to take yourself together into flight.
Okay.
Which means, what? Can you guess what taking yourself together into flight means?
Yes.
What does it mean?
No, I don't know.
To flee?
To flee,
yeah.
yes.
Okay.
To run away. But take yourself into flight just means to flee. I think, yeah, you used to be able to betake yourself into things in English, but I never betake myself anywhere. But that's what it means. Yeah, they fled. They retreated. They.
Okay. We have a verb for that.
Yes, but unfortunately, we like some variation in Latin. I don't want it to be so boring.
Idioms are important.
Idioms are important, But the beginning language student is always resentful of that fact, right? We just want simple, straightforward, mathematical language. None of this artistic, pretty stuff for us.
I don't have time for prose yet.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Good. Are there questions about any of the rest of those?
No.
Okay. Then I think we should turn to page 174 and read this section on clemencia, de clementia, on clemency. Does anyone know Seneca? You've heard of him?
The Stoic
The
philosopher.
Stoic philosopher.
He says, my favorite teaching is, if life is too hard or boring, just kill yourself.
His brother actually is in the New Testament. His brother ran into Paul. He's in the Acts of the Apostles, I guess.
Acts 17, at the Areopagus or elsewhere.
Is not the Areopagus. He was a Roman official.
Oh.
That when Paul is in prison, he's one of the officials. I don't remember which one he is. He's a proconsul or something, you know, when Paul was on his way to Rome. Does anybody know how Seneca died?
Killed himself?
Yes.
Didn't Nero make him do it?
Nero did make him do it. Do
To
you
make
know?
him eat his words, wasn't it? That he wasn't afraid to die. I don't remember.
No, it's because he was getting bothersome to Nero. But for a long time, he had been Nero's tutor.
Oh yeah, I
And so this De Clementia is a treatise he wrote for Nero, which is ironic. Though Nero was, I'd say he's the first liberal arts educated Roman emperor anyway. So, yeah. Just like Henry VIII was the first liberal arts educated English king. So I don't know what that says about
Yeah, right.
Okay. Anyway, so it's it's good to think about, you know, the irony of De Clementia, which was written when Nero was a teenager and hadn't, you know, he just was like a kid who'd go around having too much fun and getting drunk, but he hadn't slipped into the excesses of, you know, burning people as torches for dinner parties and things like that. So, anyway, so let's read about what Nero should have learned. Yes. Nathan, I think it's your turn. Maybe you have to start us off.
Sure. Clementia, ergo homines non tantum honestiores, sed tutiores sunt.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Clemency, therefore.
Mm-hmm. Well, look very closely at the first word.
I don't know. Clemency.
Look at the last letter.
Oh, it's got the. Okay, so it's not. Oh, with clemency.
Yes, exactly. So we start off.
Got it. It's
our topic, but it's not our subject.
Yeah, it's ablative absolute.
No, it's just an ablative. By clemency.
Oh. So.
Yeah, we don't have a participle, so it can't be an ablative absolute.
Yeah.
By clemency.
By clemency, therefore, people are not only honest, but I don't know what that last word is.
So, tutus.
Total. So
totus, T-O-T-U-S means total. Tutus, T-U-T-U-S means safe.
Oh, okay. Honest but safe.
Now, honestiores said tutiores. What degree of the adjectives are those?
That is the comparative. So
yes.
Are not only rather safe, or rather honest, but rather safe.
Or also, so by clemency, men are not only more honorable, but also safer.
Also, got it. Okay.
Clemency renders men both more honorable and safer. Okay. Corey?
Clementia
Mhm.
ornamentum imperiorum est simul et ceritissima salus.
Baptiste. Solid's good.
Okay, so now we have clemency as a subject.
Mm-hmm.
So clemency, let's see, is an ornament
Mm-hmm.
of the of the authorities.
Yes, is an ornament of empires, kingdoms, whatever you want for imperium.
And at the same time, um, most certainly, salus. Safe. Salus.
Yeah, salutus, not tutus. That means safe. That's the adjective. Salus is a noun.
Salus.
Safe is the
It's not.
adjective. What's the
It's
noun?
not health, is it?
It could be health or safety. Yeah,
Okay. Oh, okay.
safety in the most general sense. So, yeah, or health. So clemency is simul. At the same time, the ornament of rule of empires, and certissima, not certissime, most certainly, but certissima salus. It's an adjective, agreeing with salus salutis, which is a feminine. So not certainly, but certissima is agreeing in gender numbering case with salus.
Yeah. It is. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Can anyone do
It
certissima
is
salus? Well, go ahead, Cole.
very, very safe.
Yeah, the most certain safety, the surest safety.
Okay, the surest safety.
So clemency not only is an ornament, but is also the most solid security for rule. Metu hostium sublato, homines maxime clementiae sine cura possunt vivere. Yeah, who is this, Rachel? Yeah.
Yeah. So the first, so metu hostium sublato, would that be an ablative absolute?
Beautiful.
Okay, so with fear of enemies removing. So with
Not
fear,
removing. What kind of participle is that?
present active.
No, sublato.
No.
Sufferens would be present active. Sublato.
So perfect passive,
Mhm.
having been removed.
Yes. Yes.
Fear of the enemy having been removed. So people maximi of greatest clemency without vivere to live, able to without something or
Yeah.
able to live.
Yeah. And what's cura?
Cura. Care. Okay,
Yes.
that's an obvious one.
Yeah.
But like anxiety.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
people are able to live without anxiety.
Yeah. So people of great clemency can live without fear because they no longer fear enemies from great clemency.
And that ablative absolute, there's hostium.
Mhm.
That's the genitive, right?
Mhm.
So genitives and whatnot can appear in an ablative absolute.
Yeah. So what needs to be ablative is the noun and the participle,
Oh, the noun and
and
the
then
participle.
you can have the participle having a direct object. You could have a genitive of characteristic. Here we have a genitive, an objective genitive here of the enemies. Yeah, you can have anything else you want in there, as long as the noun and the participle are in the ablative case. Everything else goes into the cases that are required for meaning.
Okay. Wow, I don't know how I missed that. Thank you.
Yeah, it's okay. We talked about it briefly during the drill, but
Oh, I think that would have made my life a little easier last night. But okay.
Yeah. Okay. Nathan?
Curinum reges consensekunt felice tradunt regna Tyrrhenorum execrabilis ac brevis potestas est.
Mm-hmm.
So, why? That's indeed. So, why indeed
Mm-hmm.
do kings grow old with children and betray their kingdom?
Possibly, but close. So filiis quae. What do you do with quae?
I thought that's that and.
Yeah, and where does it go when you translate it?
Oh, does it go before children?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So why do kings
Okay.
grow old and filiis tradunt regna?
And their children betray the kingdom?
So
Or and
filiis
children. Sorry. No, go
is what case is filiis?
ahead. I thought it was either dative or ablative.
You thought right,
Plural.
but you translated it as a nominative, so don't do that. Right? If their sons or their children are the subject of handing over, that would have to be nominative.
I thought it was with children, so it'd be
Right.
with would be the ablative.
Yeah, but let's take it as a dative. So
Okay.
why do kings grow old and tradunt regna filiis?
And betray the children of their kingdom.
Well, they have to betray something in the accusative case.
Betray something in the accusative case. So then that would be betray children. Can we just? Or no, betray that they're. I don't know.
Yeah, regna
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, so betray their kingdom.
filiis. Dative.
And
Dative.
From, to, or from.
To or for.
To or for. Oh, okay. Betray the kingdom for children.
Okay, yes, that's what it literally says. But that makes no sense, right?
Yes.
How would you betray your kingdom for your sons? Trado does not have to mean a bad sort of tradoing. It doesn't have to be betraying.
Oh.
Trado is literally to hand on, to hand over. Now you can hand over your kingdom or hand over someone in a bad sense and betray them, right? Hand them over in a way they don't want to be handed over. But you can also just trade, right? That's where we get trado, and there's no betrayal in there.
So just handing over the kingdom
Mhm.
to his children,
To their sons. Yes.
to their
probably.
sons.
So kings grow, live to a ripe old age and then pass on their authority to their sons.
Okay.
Is what that means. Okay, so why does that happen to kings? Tyrannorum execrabilis ac brevis potestas est.
All right. Tyrant. Oh, so there's the whole thing here. So, tyrants deserve
So-
punishment.
Tyrannorum is what case?
That's nominative plural.
No, if tyrannus is nominative singular, then tyranni would be nominative plural. Tyrannorum is what?
I thought aurum was nominative.
Aurum? No. Genitive plural.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Second one down, I just said the wrong thing. Okay.
Yeah. So
Of tyrants.
mhm. So let's find the subject and verb and then come back and add in of tyrants.
Okay. Deadly. I don't know the subject would be. Of power.
Yes, power. The power of tyrants, right? Tyrannorum
Power of tyrants
is what?
is deserving punishment.
Mm-hmm. Et brevis. Ac brevis.
I don't.
Ac means
something.
et.
So and brief.
Mhm.
I don't know what that means. Deserving punishment and brief.
Yeah. You don't see that?
And brief.
Yeah.
Deserving punishment and. Yeah. Okay.
So why, he asks, is it that kings live to a ripe old age and then peacefully hand on their power to their sons, whereas tyrants rule briefly and in such a way that they deserve capital punishment?
Okay. Yeah, I see that. Okay.
All right. Corey?
Yeah. Just the English or Latin?
To the Latin. Yeah.
Okay. Quid interest inter tyrannum ac
Mhm.
regem.
Regem.
Sorry. So, what is the difference between a tyrant and a king?
Mm-hmm. And why don't you read the answer?
Tyranni.
And this is a great line. Yes.
Okay. Tyranni voluptate
Voluptate.
saeviunt reges non nisi ex causa ac necessitate.
Necessitate.
Okay, so that be tyrants. Is that in the plural?
Yep.
So tyrants. One second here. Tyrants. I don't know. I mean, that's a participle, right? The saevuent.
No.
No, it's not. Oh,
Saevio, saevire. It's just a fourth Conjugation. Present
oh,
active indicative.
okay. So
Third plural.
they had been severe.
Present active.
Oh, it's present active. They are severe.
They are savage. They are, yeah. They,
Okay, they're savage. Wouldn't
Mhm.
that be for pleasure?
Yes, tyrants are savage for pleasure. Reges non nisi ex causa ac necessitate.
Kings.
Mhm.
Uh, do not. Is Nisi? Is that from?
Nisi means is the negated form of si.
Let's see.
That means unless.
So kings, unless not,
Not unless.
not unless. Let's see. Not unless with from reason.
Mhm.
Um, let's see.
Necessitate.
Um, yeah, something with necessity.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they don't do anything without necessity.
Well,
Or,
they aren't fierce, right? Tyrants execute people for fun. Kings only do it when there's reason and necessity.
okay.
So a king will, execute a mass murderer because there's reason and necessity. A tyrant will just take a man off the street and kill him because, it's fun. He likes people suffering, or he likes to show his power, or whatever. That's the distinction. Seneca says between a king and a tyrant. All right, but then our interlocutor pops up. Rachel?
Okay.
He says, "Quid ergo non reges quoque interficere solunt?"
So why? Therefore, would that just
Yeah.
why is this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or something like, really? I mean, so what you could say, but that's not what it means. Is that really the case?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So is that really the case? No kings. Also,
Not newly kings, no kings, but don't kings.
Oh. Okay, so don't
Aren't
kings
kings.
also.
It depends on, how you're going to translate solent. Aren't kings.
Also accustomed.
Mhm.
Or accustomed.
Are accustomed.
To killing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really, but isn't it pretty normal for kings to have to kill people? And remember, right, we're talking about a society where there's no such thing as an effective prison system. So execution is a lot more common. So you can say it's because the Romans messed up, or you can say it's because they had to, or you can pick a middle road and say both and, or some of each. Sed ubi id fieri publica utilitas persuadet, tyrannis seguitia cordi est. Okay, this is a little idiomatic, and I'm gonna just translate this for you. But when ubi publica utilitas, public utility, public safety, the common good, persuadet, advises, id fieri, that this happened. So kings use execution, but only when the common good is benefits from this. Tyrannis saevitia cordi est. So saevitia, cruelty is cordi, is dear to tyrants. Follow that?
Mhm.
Yeah, and this is an idiom. So literally it says something like, cruelty is to the heart for tyrants, but it means it is dear to tyrants. Nathan, will you pick that up?
Yeah. Tyrannus autem ad rege factis distat non nomine
Mm-hmm.
nam et Dionysius. Sorry, Dionysius Mayor Iore meriti okay preferi multas regibus potest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The tyrant, however,
Mm-hmm.
however, however, is distant
Mm-hmm.
from the king.
Yeah, a tyrant maybe differs from a king.
Differs. Oh, okay. Differs from a king by doing or
Yeah, in deeds. No
Indeed.
nomine.
okay. In deeds, not name.
Not in name. So
Not name.
there was a while. Tyrant is actually was for a long time in Greece a technical term, right? And it didn't mean a tyrant, like we knew it was a political office.
Yeah.
So he's saying it's not the name tyrant; it's the deeds that distinguish in reality what a real king and real tyrant is. Okay. Why nam et Dionysius?
Name. Or I don't forget what nam is.
For
Okay. For and.
yeah, for or remember et can be an adverb
I don't remember that.
meaning even.
Name.
No, not
even,
name.
No, sorry. For even.
Yeah.
For even Dionysus.
Yep. And then find the main verb.
To be able to.
Potest is able.
Yeah.
So even Dionysus is able
to. Is able. 29. Able.
you have to be you're able to do something, right? We need an infinitive. That's what you're looking for, right?
Yeah, I don't know where it is.
It's preferi. That's a passive infinitive.
Okay, so is it? Dionysus was able to prefer.
But we want it passive. Preferre would be
Was able to prefer. Was able to be preferred.
Yes. For even Dionysius is able to be preferred. And you're preferred to someone in the dative case. Multis regibus.
By.
To
the king.
Multis.
To the many kings.
Yes. So Dionysus, who is a famous tyrant, can be preferred to many kings. Can be major, greater, more preferred. Iure meritokoi.
More preferred
Mm-hmm.
to were preferred in merit
Mm-hmm.
and
Jure.
and
Jure.
and law.
And law. Yeah. So Dionysus, although he had the name tyrant, he was superior to many kings in his law giving and his personal merits or something like that. Corey?
Mm-hmm. Um, so, and what prohibits
Mm-hmm.
El Sola to be called, as the note says, but I see what's going on
Yeah,
there,
good.
to be called a tyrant?
Yeah.
Um, so what prohibits El Solemn to be called a tyrant?
Lucius
Um,
Sola Cui,
who
uh,
or whose
to whom, yeah, whose,
to whom? Okay, so to whom? Let's see, fake it. To whom? Um,
there's a subject there.
yeah, the subject is finem.
No, Finem
Finem? No.
is an accusative. Accusative. Finis
Oh,
would be an
subject.
nominative.
Subject. I'm sorry. So it's in the verb,
It's,
right?
it's
Fake
actually
it.
also expressed.
Oh, it is.
And it's right where you would expect it not to be, which is at the end of the sentence. Inopia hostum.
Oh, okay. Um,
It's put there for drama, so it's unexpected for a Roman too.
okay. So the lack,
The lack costume,
the the lacking enemies
the lack costume,
of
lacking
enemies.
of enemies, yes. A
Got it.
lack of enemies, fecit finem, factorum malorum.
Um, so it makes.
The lack of enemies made
Oh, sorry. Yeah, made uh evil deeds.
something in the accusative case. Factorum malorum is genitive plural.
Finem.
So,
Um,
yes.
what is finem again?
Um, finale,
Oh,
final,
the end.
finish.
Um,
Yes, made an end.
to of the evil deeds.
Yes. Okay, so what did that say?
Okay, from the very beginning.
Sure.
Okay, so what prohibits El Sola to be called a tyrant?
Mm-hmm.
Um, to whom
Mm-hmm.
um, the the lacking or the lack of enemies
Mm-hmm.
had made an end um, of the evil deeds.
All right. And can you just paraphrase that?
I
Don't
see
look
what
at
you're
the
saying.
Latin at all.
Yeah. Uh,
Lucius Solus should be called a tyrant because what?
oh, because I'm still a little confused.
Can
Because
anyone?
lacking enemies, he killed a bunch of people anyway.
No.
No? Okay, so lacking enemies, he.
The lack of enemies put an end to his evil deeds. What does that mean?
Oh.
Anyone? Able to paraphrase that?
Well, wouldn't that make him a king in Seneca's view?
No. It's
Because he
yeah.
killed them all.
He killed them all. Yeah. What put an end to his evil deeds? Well, after he killed all his enemies, then he was like, okay, I'll stop killing people. Right? He killed everybody he didn't like. And then that's what made him stop killing people. It wasn't clemency or reason or, yeah. And actually,
Oh,
when
okay.
Lucius Sulla was in power, like, a astonishingly high percentage of the aristocracy was executed.
Hmm.
Really, like, I mean, there was a very small aristocracy. A lot of them were put to death. in his prescriptions. So this is the very most, I think, probably.
I think
most
my
dramatic.
biggest problem here was I'm identifying with Solemn. I rather like him. So
Well, don't. You will see why you should not like him. I hope, as you read a little bit more. Qui unquam tyrannus avidius humanum sanguinem vivit quam ille. Rachel, you take that little bit. And qui,
Okay.
we have a question, just so you know. It's not coming for like another 5 lines, but it is a question.
Oh wow,
Yeah. So this is
that is long.
Yeah, and this is totally normal for Latin
okay.
prose, and and English prose if you're not an American in the 21st century. You know, if you
Okay.
read Charles Dickens, you know, Mark Twain or Jane Austen or anyone who didn't live and write in tweets. This is not an abnormal sentence, but yeah.
With and then umquam, is that like some kind of numquam
Yes.
or
What's
okay.
So what does numquam mean?
Nothing?
Never.
No, never.
So you take
Close.
off the N and you get umquam, which means you take off the N in English and you get
Ever.
ever. Yeah, numquam, never,
Okay.
umquam, ever. Yeah. So
Okay.
if we have qui starting a question, what kind of word do you think that is?
Why?
No.
No, whom?
Who? Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's an interrogative, but remember if it was quis, it would be an interrogative pronoun. Who? Question mark.
Okay.
It's not quis, it's qui, so it's an interrogative adjective. So which?
Okay. So
Agreeing with Tyrannus.
so which tyrant
Mm-hmm.
use
Ever.
use.
Avidius? Yeah. Let's come back to that. Let's find the verb.
Okay. Bibet. So which tyrant drinks?
Drank. Yeah. What tyrant ever drank what? Something in the accusative case.
Ever drank human blood?
Yes.
All right, I'm out.
Not literally, actually, but if you kill lots of people, you're metaphorically drinking. You know.
Okay. So which tyrant ever drank human blood?
Avidius.
Eagerly.
But it's the what form? Avide would be eagerly. Avidius is an adverb, but
Okay, wait. So it's an use.
mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how to. So one of the adverbs.
Yeah.
Shoot, I gotta look back at the chapter for that.
It's a comparative adverb.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So it's not more eagerly,
Yes.
or okay, more eagerly than this.
Mm-hmm.
Which 7,000
Yeah. So quam ille, right? if we have a comparative,
Than this, right?
then he, yes.
Oh,
so what
then-
tyrant ever drank human blood more equally than that man, Lucius Sulla? Okay, good. And then Nathan, will you pick it up?
Yeah. Qui septem milia civium Romanorum
Mhm.
interfici iusit et.
There, you can just stop it. Use it.
Okay. Okay. So which?
Who? Right.
Oh yeah. So sorry. Who? Ordered. Who ordered to kill 7,000 Roman citizens?
Who ordered? Interfici is what kind of infinitive?
Ordered. Oh, it's passive. Perfect.
No,
It's
passive, active. So
passive.
he ordered septem milia civium Romanorum, not
Wait,
to
what's
kill.
what's passive active? You mean passive?
Sorry, present.
Passive.
Present.
Present. Okay, present.
Thank
Passive.
Present active. Passive. Whatever. Just words. No. So he ordered septem milia civium Romanorum.
So he ordered the killing.
Yeah, he ordered 7,000 Roman citizens not to kill, but
To be killed.
To be killed. Okay.
He ordered the killing of 7,000 Roman citizens.
Yeah, but we want to say he ordered that 7,000 Roman citizens be killed.
He ordered that 7,000 Roman citizens to be killed.
Yes. Yes. And before we take the next little bit out down to Senatu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ubi N Wikino Serenes Ariwit. That's a big one. Conclamati Ionen. Sorry. Conclam. How would you say that one?
Conclamatione.
Conclamation. Tot milium sub gladio gementium exterito senatu. So when sitting in the vicinity, he heard loud shouting.
Yeah, the shouting, the loud shouting.
Let's see, are the shouting people?
No, the loud shouting, you're right.
Okay. Tot milium.
So gladio gementium. So milium and gementium go together. I said milium and gementium go together.
What was that? Okay, so and that would be 1,000 and the lamenting
Of so many
thousands lamenting under the sword.
Yeah,
under the swords.
So there was thousands of people being executed.
Slaughtered.
Nearby. So when he heard this, exterito senatu to the appletives.
With the frightened Senate.
With the Senate having been terrified.
So
they're sitting in the Senate trying to do business, and you hear like thousands of people dying. Probably not thousands at a time, because at this time Rome was really small. But thousands of people did die. Anyway, he said, "Ait ne haec conclamatio vobisit curae patres conscripti." Rachel?
So conclamatio, so that's like shouting, but then the that's on there. Okay. So T-O, with this loud shouting, and I'm not sure about the nay.
So ne sit means let it not be.
Okay. So ne sit.
Ne haec conclamatio vobisit curae is what he said.
Okay. So let not this loud shouting vobis. It's not to come, it's not to see. It's
the pronoun.
Not you
For you,
all.
be curae.
For you all, could I care, concern?
For concern.
Okay.
So what did
You
he say, basically, idiomatically?
Don't be concerned with all of the loud shouting.
Yeah, don't worry about the shouting.
Okay.
O patres conscripti, he said, addressing the senators.
Okay. So, yeah, patres conscripti.
That just means senators.
That would, yeah. So, does patres conscripti mean the senators or just?
Yeah, it means literally the conscript fathers, enrolled fathers, but the enrolled fathers are senators.
Okay. Sidiosi.
Yes.
So that would be.
And since we're running out of time, I'm actually just going to finish this for you.
Okay.
So seditiosi pauculi meo uso interfeciuntur. A few traitors are being killed at my command. And there are estimates that he killed like 9,000 people, which is a huge percentage of the Roman citizens at the time. A few traitors are getting killed. And Seneca says, hoc verum erat. This was true. Pauci Sulai videbantur. They seemed few to Sulla. So it's not actually true. It's not just a few. But to Sulla, who enjoyed murdering people, it didn't seem like all that many. Okay, there we go. And that's Seneca. He has some great stuff. We're going to read some more of his, but this is just a little phrase of his that I found when I was in a reading course in college, and I really like it. He's talking about learning and education, and he says, "Concoquamus illa, alioqui in memoriam ibut non ingenium." So talking about moral things and things you learn. He says, "Let us," and concoquamus is what a cow does. So let us chew on, as if it was cud, these things. Let us ponder these things, but we want a better than pondering. Let us chew over repeatedly these things. Otherwise, they'll go into our memory, but not our character. So you not just have to understand something and not just get in your memory, but you've got to chew stuff over to make it affect you. Okay. We'll take a 10-minute break.
Okay.
Okay.
So, we took a little bit more time on Seneca than we should have. It's fine. But we'll just have to go a little bit faster through Unit 11. So I may not be able to introduce objective and subjective generatives, so we may have to talk about that tomorrow, but nothing. Okay, so can you all see the presentation?
Mhm.
Okay, good. So today we're going to talk about Unit 11. We're going to learn about verbs, more about verbs. We're going to learn about deponent verbs. We're going to learn a few more irregular verbs, and we're going to learn about the verb as the infinitive as a verbal noun. And then syntax, we'll talk about subjective, objective, if predicate genitives. So really, there's no, of course, we're not learning any forms except for the irregular verbs, right? Because we've learned all the forms of verbs as well as nouns. So we're just learning more ways to think about them. So deponent verbs. Formally, they're not hard, but conceptually, they're messy. Okay. Because deponent verbs are a class of verbs in Latin that only have passive forms. They look passive, but they have active meanings. So a deponent verb is passive in form, active in meaning. Okay, so let's look at these principal parts. What do you see? What's conor? How would you parse that? Conor, fateor, proficescor, secor, experior.
Well, that's to crown, right?
No, corono.
Okay.
Corono. We don't know what it means, but what does that form look like? Ending OR for person and number. If it's passive in form, I told you, so this is not an active ending, but a passive ending.
First person singular.
First person singular, tense,
Present tense.
present, and indicative. So
Yeah.
first person singular, present, indicative. All right. So that's, and it's passive in form, right? It looks like a first person singular, present, passive, indicative. But it is active in meaning. So conor means I try. So it means something active, although its form is passive. And then what's conari? What form is that? So it's like regular verbs. We had a first person singular, present, indicative, but it was passive in form instead of active in form. What's the second principal part of those verbs?
That looks like a present passive infinitive.
Yes, good. So normally we have a present active infinitive, but the deponent only has passive form, so we have to have a present passive infinitive form, conari. But it means, if conor means I try, then conari means
I've been tried?
Yeah.
Or
The
no,
infinitive?
active in meaning. Sorry.
Yeah.
I tried.
present. Not that's the perfect indicative. We want a present participle, a present infinitive. Sorry.
I try. Or,
Two.
to try.
To try. Yes. Conor, I try. Conari, to try. And then conatu sum. What does that mean? What form is that?
That's a fourth principal part.
It's the fourth principal part plus sum, which makes what? Compound tense.
To be tried.
No. What person, number, tense, voice, mood do we have here?
first person pluperfect, or sorry, no, yeah,
First person singular. Yeah. What tense?
yeah,
Perfect.
Perfect,
passive,
passive,
Passive.
active,
indicative.
or indicative.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah. So, right, normally we have a first person singular present active indicative, then a present active infinitive, then the first person singular present active perfect active indicative. Here, with these verbs, their first three principal parts are the same as a regular verb, except only passive forms. So first person singular, present passive indicative, present passive infinitive, and first person singular, present perfect passive indicative. And then we don't have a fourth principal part in any of them. And why would that be? Well,
Because they're only active in meaning.
well, yes, but also, I mean, you could have you do have a perfect passive participle that's active in meaning. And what would that be for Conor, Canari, Conatusum? It's not really a trick. You don't have to figure anything out.
Can you ask the question again then?
Yeah, so the fourth principal part is the perfect passive participle, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
There is that form for a deponent, so it's not that we can't have it. But what would it be for Conor, Canari, Conatusum? Form a compound, what do you use for compound tense?
Use the perfect stem, or the fourth principal
Perfect.
part, and then a
Yes.
form of to be.
Yes, you use the perfect passive participle, right?
Yeah.
That's the
Okay.
fourth principal part. And so what is the perfect passive participle of this first verb?
Conatus.
So if you were to do all four regular principal parts, you'd have Conor, Canari, Conatusum, Conatus, right? Fateor, Fateri, Fasusum, Fasus, right? That'd be totally superfluous because you just repeat the
Okay.
form right before sum. So that's why we don't have a fourth principal part for deponents. Because the third and fourth, we can figure out the fourth just by removing sum from the third.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
And so Kanatu Sum is I
Mhm.
tried.
I tried. Exactly. So Conor, Canari, Conatusum, what conjugation is that?
It's first,
First. And how do you tell?
because of the accent over the A in Konari.
Yeah, because of the present passive infinitive ari ending is for the first conjugation. Ari.
Yeah.
How about the second one? Fate or fateri fasusum.
Second,
Second, how do you know?
just the E. But the E with the
Long-
macron.
E with a macron.
Long.
Eri. Long E R I. So if fateor means I confess, Nathan, what does fateri mean?
I confess. To confess.
To confess, and fasusum.
Oh, you're talking to.
Yep.
To had.
It's not an infinitive.
Oh yeah.
First person singular perfect indicative.
I confessed.
Mhm. I confessed. Fasusum. I confessed. Right? It looks like I was verbed, right?
Yeah.
It looks passive, but in meaning, these deponents are always active. I confessed. So, Rachel, what conjugation is proficus for? So if profikisk is the stem, profikisk or profikisk e.
What conjugation is it?
Mhm.
Not.
What conjugation just uses a long I?
The fourth?
No, the third.
I thought the third was like an E without a macron.
So in the active endings are are, ere, short e, ire. The passives
Okay,
are
but-
ari, eri, e, iri.
Okay, that was my bad.
Yeah, and it's strict. Okay.
Okay.
So third conjugation, and if profikiskor means I set out, means
How did you get third conjugation? I don't see it.
so
So
if you profikiskor,
okay,
so profikisk is your stem.
right,
Profikisk, if we're looking at the second principal part, the ending is I, just I with a macron.
right.
And that's the present passive infinitive ending for the third conjugation.
Third conjugation.
You might want to go back and review infinitives when we went over those. Because Ari is so. Oh, I wish I could write these. Okay. So in our Google chat, Are and then Ari is the first conjugation for the active and passive. R and Ri for the second. R and E for the third. Not Eddie, but just an E, just an I with a macron. Ir.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, because you okay. I remember because you dropped the ER. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no.
Yeah,
Got
it's
it.
not Eddie.
Yeah. Got it.
Okay.
What does that one translate to again?
Profikiskor is to set out.
Okay.
And yes, okay. And then exusi at the bottom, experior, experiri, expertusum, experiri. That's your fourth conjugation. Okay. So yes, as we just said, first person present passive indicative form, present passive infinitive form, first person singular passive indicative form. So quickly, Corey, what conjugation is the first one?
It's present.
Conjugation.
Oh, conjugation. I'm sorry. So that's the first conjugation.
So pati or
You mean
pati passus.
Konor. Oh.
Sorry.
Okay. So
Pati or pati passus.
yeah, that would be the third.
Third. Rachel, minor, minari, minatusum.
First conjugation.
First. Corey, back to you. Precor, precari, precatusum.
First.
Nathan, utor, uti, ususum.
Third.
Rachel, were, wereri, weritusum.
Second.
Good. Okay. So that's really all we need to know. Like, we don't need to know any more forms. Because you know all the forms. As long as you remember your passive forms, you've learned everything. It's just you're going to have to memorize these verbs very well so that you remember, although the passive form, they have active means. right? Because if you run into them in the wild, you're going to want to translate them as passives. Because
I like that. That's a good one. Run to them in the wild.
The wild and Augustine.
yes, exactly. Not in the domesticated setting of a textbook.
A textbook, yeah. It's a good way.
Thank you. Okay, and now you're gonna say, "What? Oh my goodness, this can't go on." But thankfully, there are 4 semi-deponent verbs in Latin, so this is not a big class. But there are 4 verbs that have active forms in the present system, but are deponents, so have passive forms with active meanings in the perfect system. Okay, just 4 verbs though. So you really don't have to worry about these. Just focus on learning deponents, and there are 4 verbs that you'll have to deal with. So audeo, audere, aususum. Audeo means I dare, so audere means to dare, and aususum means I dared. So it's halfway deponent. Deponent only in the perfect system. And don't ask me why, because I don't know. Okay, let's see. Let's just finish introducing these, and then we'll spend the rest of our time on drills, and we won't have to try to cram anything in at the very end. Okay, so we've learned a number of genitives: genitive of cause, genitive of description, genitive of charge. We have a few more. The subjective genitive. Subjective and objective genitives are used with nouns that have some sort of idea of action, right? Some sort of verbal idea. So love is a noun, but there's an idea of the action of to love, right? And so you can put it in a genitive case. You can use a genitive case either to express the person who's sort of doing the action, or the person or thing that's receiving the action. So amor matris, the love, how would we say amor matris?
The love of the mother.
The love of a mother, and that's a subjective genitive. Why? Does anyone understand that? No, I say it. Mother explains who is loving, right?
Yeah.
The love of a mother is stronger than the fear of death or something, right? A mother's love. Right? The objective genitive is the noun in the genitive case is the object of the verbal idea, the action. So the love of home explains at the thing to which you direct your love, right? The object of the love, in some sense. And then finally, a noun in the genitive case that does not depend on any other noun, but it instead denotes a characteristic, can stand in the place of a complement. So this is a little idiomatic, but to love children is a characteristic of a good parent, but is of a good parent is what Latin says.
Mm-hmm.
The predicate genitive is not so very important, although I just learned in canon law it is used all the time. I didn't. Yeah, cool. Sorry. I just had a screen to share with you, and I thought I was sharing, but I wasn't. So here you go. That's what I meant to have on. That's what I was looking at. So can anyone give me an example of an objective or subjective genitive in English? Okay, stop sharing this.
Just like a simple little
Yeah,
sentence.
just give it a phrase and tell me whether you're using an objective or subjective genitive.
Okay, so the hope of the priest,
Yes. And is that objective or subjective?
that would be subjective.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the one who's doing the implied action. Yeah. Can anyone give a subjective, an objective genitive?
The Book of the Man.
Well, that's a possessive genitive, right?
Oh, okay.
Love of Latin?
The love of Latin. Yes. Yes. The love of Latin. Latin is not the one that is loving, right? It is what is being loved.
I can't see you right now. Is anyone else having that issue, or is that just me?
Just you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just turn off my video briefly and then turn it on again, and maybe that will help.
Okay, yeah, I see you now.
Very technical. Turn it off and try again. That's what I say.
When you call the ID guy, have you tried
Right.
turning it off and back on?
Yes, exactly. So, can you tell grammatically whether something is an objective or subjective genitive in English?
No.
No. Can you tell in Latin?
No.
No. The noun is just in the genitive case. So it's not like you couldn't translate these into English without being totally ignorant of the fact that there are subjective and objective genitives. You could. If you just translate the genitive as of, you're going to come up with the right translation. But logically, it's good to know that there are these distinctions. And it's good to know that there's this ambiguity, because you could say the love of a mother, and that could be either an objective or subjective genitive, depending on the context. So the love of a mother lion protects her children, right? Subjective genitive. The love of my mother inspired me to clean the kitchen is an objective. That means my love towards her. So it's good to know there are both of these genitives or ofs in English and in Latin, and to be aware of that ambiguity. But in translation, it's not going to make a difference. Yeah. Okay. Yeah?
Sounds good.
Let's practice deponents. I don't need to get so excited about it. I'm not so excited. So we're on page 185. And we're just going to practice having passive forms and active names. Okay. So quinor, quinari, quinatusum is to try. Fateor is to confess. Fasus, fess. There, the confess is related to fateor. Sequor, secus, secutusum is to follow. And experior, expertusum is to experience. So expert, right, is an experienced person. Sequence is what follows. Confess, right, all those words. And I think conative is a word in English that means related to trying. I can't think of any other derivatives, but sure there are more. I highly suspect there are more, I'm not sure. Okay, so Nathan, will you start us with number 1? Unless anyone has questions. You did just fly through that minute in about half an hour. Maybe you are.
So then it's I try, I confess, I follow, I experience.
Tour?
What?
Not conor, fateor, sequor, experior. Those would be I try, I confess, I follow, I experience. Conator?
Is it? Oh, wait. But I thought they weren't in the passive. I thought that
No,
was.
they're not. But what person are they? They're still the same person.
That's first person.
No?
Oh, auteur. I'm sorry. That is that. Yeah. He tries.
Good.
She tries. He confesses. She confesses or follows. She it experiences.
Yes, and you can just, in the future, you can just pick one.
Oh, okay.
And say he, she, it. Yeah. Okay. Rachel?
Okay. Conabatur, fatebatur, secuebatur, expirie
Mhm.
batur. So he had been attempting,
Had been would be poop.
or he was attempting.
Mm-hmm.
He was confessing. He
Mhm.
was following. He was experiencing.
Good. Corey?
He will attempt. He will confess. He will follow, and he will experience.
Good. Ethan?
He so he will try or no.
Number 4.
Let's see. He tried. He confessed. He followed. I'm sorry. He tried. Yeah. He confessed. He followed. He experienced.
Very close. Very close. The tense is right. The pronoun is not right. Does anyone see why the pronoun is not right?
Feminine.
It's feminine.
Oh,
So
she. Oh, okay.
remember, when we have compound tenses,
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
always tell the gender
Yeah. Because
of
okay.
the subject. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not conatus, fasus, sequitus, or experitus, but conata.
Gotcha.
So she tried, she confessed, she followed, she experienced. Rachel?
So she
What tense is this?
will. So it's the edit is the future of to be.
We're on number 5.
Oh, just kidding. Erat. It would be the imperfect of to be. So it'd be the so imperfect goes with pluperfect.
Yes.
So it'd be pluperfect, passive, indicative.
Mhm.
So she had been trying.
Passive in form, active in meaning.
Had tried.
She had tried. Great.
Then she had confessed. She had followed. She had experienced.
Yes. So this is going to be your second tattoo, right? Besides the GNC
Yes.
tattoo. Passive in form, active in meaning, right?
Designing it now.
Okay, very nice. Send it to us all. Corey?
So would that be she will have tried?
Yeah.
Okay, so she will have tried. She will have confessed. She will have followed. She will have experienced.
Nathan?
He may try. He may confess, he may follow, he may experience.
Good. So parse those.
Third person, singular, subjunctive,
What tense?
present.
Present subjunctive. Good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
How do we know that's subjunctive? I'm missing that.
Nathan, how do we know that's subjunctive?
We beat a liar fryer, so the E.
Oh.
Present stem plus E, EA, A, IA.
Oh, got it. Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. It's tricky. Rachel?
Okay, so Konator is okay, yeah, so I'm a little confused on that one. So it's not
Yeah.
the present passive infinitive
No.
because it has
No.
the E and not the I.
Yeah, so the formation is the same. You use what would be the present active infinitive.
Okay, so the present active.
Doesn't actually exist, but in formation it does. Yeah.
So
Canare, fatere, sequere. Those would all be.
so if it's the present active infinitive plus the passive endings, the I
You know, what form uses the present active infinitive plus endings? Everyone knows.
the, a second.
Is it indicative? It's not an indicative.
So okay.
It's at the tense of the subjunctive, right?
Perfect active subjunctive passive.
Not
perfect active.
Not
Present.
Perfect. Not present.
Wait,
Imperfect.
okay. Wait, but it's a present active participle.
Infinitive.
Infinitive. Goodness gracious. Okay.
So
So the present active.
Infinitive plus endings creates the imperfect subjunctive.
Okay.
You can use active endings, and that creates the imperfect active subjunctive. You can use perfect passive endings, and that creates the imperfect passive subjunctive.
I have not thought about that in a long time. Okay. Okay. So it's the imperfect passive subjunctive. He might have been trying or attempting.
He might be trying. Yeah, just
okay.
He
So
might
he might be trying. He might be confessing. He might be following. He might be experiencing.
Okay. Corey?
Yeah. So, see, she had tried. She had confessed. She had followed. I'm sorry. That's well.
Sounds like
it's subjunctive.
It as pluperfect indicative.
Right, pluperfect indicative.
That's what you were translating as, but it's not.
Right. Okay, it's not. So, is this a subjunctive?
Yeah. In what sense?
So, this would be the perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So she might have attempted.
May have.
I'm sorry. She may have attempted. She may have confessed. She may have followed. She may have tried.
Right. And then number 10 we can guess would be conata esset, passa esset, secuta esset, experta esset. She might have tried. She might have confessed. She might have followed. She might have experienced. Okay. Nathan, I took the easy one away from you and give me the hard one. Number 11. What is that? We hear you not because you're unmuted.
Yeah, sorry, there's construction in buildings, so I just muted my anyways, let's see. He I don't know.
All right, everyone. Let's
had
look at
time.
what do they look like? We're at number 11.
It
Looks like an
infinitives.
infinitive.
It looks
Present
like what
active
kind of infinitive?
infinitive.
Present active infinitive.
Present
Is that
active,
possible?
yeah.
No, is this a trick question?
This is a trick.
No. Oh, it's a
I mean,
imperative.
it's not good. It's a second
Yes.
person singular present passive imperative.
Okay.
So conare means
Follow, or sorry, attempt.
try. Yes, try.
Try.
Oh,
Fatere, confess. Sequere, follow. Sequereme, right? Sequereme, follow me.
Mhm.
Experire, experience. Ah, yes. Oh.
wow.
Whoa. Okay. So Nathan, you want to take number 12? We started with 11.
Yeah.
Tandem.
You attempt. You confess.
Mhm.
You follow. You experience.
Mhm. So it may be the second person plural present
Oh, it's you all. Us and you
Indicative.
all.
or a imperative, right? You can't tell. It's y'all either are doing something, statement of fact, or a command to y'all to do something. Rachel?
Okay. So there is a macron over that I. Fun
Conare,
times.
fateri, sequi, experiri.
So that's just the present passive infinitive. So to try, to confess, to follow, and to experience.
Okay, great. Corey, number 14.
Yeah, so he might have tried, or may have tried.
Esse, not esset.
Oh, okay. I thought that was subjunctive imperfect.
If it had an ending, it would be.
Oh, okay. So this makes it I don't remember.
So the perfect passive participle plus the present infinitive of the verb to be
Oh,
gives
yeah.
us a what form?
Participle?
Nope, conatus is a participle. Conatus plus esse is not a participle, but an
Infinitive?
infinitive.
Yeah.
And what tense of the infinitive do we have?
Perfect? Future perfect infinitive?
Nope.
There. So perfect passive
Yes, the perfect passive infinitive. Yeah.
infinitive. So okay, so
Infinitive.
to have tried, to have tried, to have confessed, to have followed, to have tried, or
To
experienced.
experienced. Yeah, exactly. Okay. And these next two are the exceptions, right? So actually the future active participle we have, right? And the future active participle is active in form and active in meaning. And then the present active participle is also active in form and active in meaning. So those are the two exceptions to deponents. So conaturus esse is the future active infinitive. So Nathan, how would you translate that?
To be going to follow.
To be about to
Or
try,
be about
yes.
To, be about
Yep,
to
exactly.
try. Oh yeah, sorry, try.
And etc. Yep.
Sorry,
You don't have to do them all. It's okay. It's fine.
You got it.
Yeah. And then Rachel, how about number 16?
So just to try.
What is it? It's not the infinitive.
Sorry. This is present active participle. Trying.
Trying, exactly. Trying, confessing, etc. And then conatus, Corey?
Conatus. Yeah. To have tried.
What kind of? It's not an infinitive.
No, right, but participle.
Yeah, it's a perfect passive participle, not to. To suggests.
Yeah. So trying. Having tried.
Having tried. Yep. Having
Okay.
tried, having confessed, having followed, having experienced. And now you can see, although this may not seem wonderful to you at this moment, angry as you are about the fact of deponents, but that with deponents we do actually have a perfect active participle. And so if you can find a deponent, then you can do lots of things with a perfect active participle that you can't do it with any other verb in Latin because we don't have any perfect active participles for our verbs, regular verbs. This is perfect passive in form, but it's active in meaning, so it is essentially a perfect active participle. So that's wonderful. It's the benefit of deponents.
How would you translate that again? The
Having
perfect
tried.
passive participle that's having tried. Okay.
Having tried, not having been tried.
Okay.
So normally we might have to say, with these things having been said by the man, his dictis a viro, but we could, if now that we have the deponent, we could say, with a man having said these things, viro faso, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's much clearer than with these things having been said by the man, right? Which we normally have to do because we don't have that perfect active participle most of the time. Yeah. Okay. Questions so far? All right, let's go skip down to 19. Corey, will you start us off?
Didn't we just do 19?
Sorry, 20 is the word I mean to say.
Okay, 20. So cap it. Capo.
Capio capere, capi captus.
Yeah, I don't remember. Capture. Okay.
Yeah,
So he captures.
he captures. This is not a deponent. They just
Yeah.
want to remind you they still exist. He captures. Then Nathan, what's number 21?
That is a deponent if I remember. So he follows.
He
Or no,
follows.
yeah,
Right,
follows.
exactly. The capit, regular verb, he captures. Sequitur, the deponent, they're translated the same way, right? One is active in form and active in meaning. One is passive in form, but still active in meaning. He follows. Rachel, 22?
Okay. Caperunt. In my head, so I'm thinking like kepi captus.
Yeah. Capio capere capi captus. Exactly.
So they captured.
They captured. Corey, 23.
They follow.
They followed. Yeah,
Oh,
they
followed.
followed. So, perfect. Nathan, 24.
You lead or command.
Yeah, you all
command.
command.
Yeah.
Rachel,
You all, just you all confess.
you all confess. Corey, 26.
You all capture.
Uh,
Or
you,
sorry,
Eubeo is to
Jerome?
order.
order. Okay, so you all order.
Nope, that was 24. You all order is Eubaetus. Eubaemony,
Wait, what was 25 then?
you all confess.
Yeah.
Eubeo is not a deponent.
Oh, it's not. Okay, so
Eubeo, Eubeo. This is passive in
It's
form and
passive,
passive
okay.
in meaning
Sure. Okay, so
because it's regular passive.
yeah, y'all were ordered.
Yes, so Eubaetus you all order, Eubaemony you all are ordered. Thautemony, passive in form, but you all confess active in meaning. Nathan, 27.
See, I thought that would be you all confess.
What
Or you all
tense is it?
confessed. You
Yes,
confessed. You all confessed.
You all
It's
confess.
infinitive. Yeah, it's the perfect.
Perfect. Good. Rachel, 28.
You all having or
It's a perfect
been-
you all were
it's a perfect
passive and
indicative. You all were commanded.
You all were commanded, yeah. Corey, 29.
Yeah. So you have ordered.
Usus au. It's not a use. It's not a finite verb. What form is it?
No, I thought it was a. It's either a perfect or a pluperfect
It's a perfect. Perfect what?
of the perfect active indicative.
Nope.
No.
Usus? Are you on 29?
Yep.
Okay. Usus aum. It ends in aum, right? It's not an indicative.
Right. It's an
There's three
adjective.
forms. It's an adjective, which is called a what?
Oh, demonstrative adjective.
Participle.
Participle.
And it's a perfect what? Perfect something participle.
Perfect active.
The fourth principal part, perfect passive.
Oh, perfect passive.
Eubeo, eubere,
Okay.
usi, usus. Fourth principal part, perfect passive participle. So
Issuing. The issuing one.
that's
The man issuing.
present active. You know, perfect passive.
So the having been issued man.
Yes, having been ordered. Usus having been ordered.
Okay.
Nathan, Faustus.
So that's the same thing. That's
Yes, it's a perfect passive participle, but this is
but
deponent.
so it's active. Should make it the confessing man.
Confessing is that active or passive? I mean, present or perfect. Confessing
The confessed.
Confessed. So how do we translate that literally? Confessed is
The man who confessed.
yeah, the having confessed.
Confessed.
Having confessed. Right. So the
Okay.
perfect passive, having been confessed. Perfect active, having confessed.
Having confessed.
Rachel, 31.
Okay. So laudans
Mhm.
is the present active participle, not
Mhm.
not infinitive. So it's an active. The praising
Praising.
thing.
Laudans, praising, the praising man or something. Yeah. Corey?
The attempting man.
Yes, the attempting man. Attempting, trying. Nathan? 33?
So let's see. That would be. So that would be. Uh, oh, so that just be you attempt or you praise.
You praise. Good.
Yeah, you praise.
Rachel? Yeah, I know. It's like, it's so easy. It's
So
for-
easy. I was like, oh wait, that's just the present. That's the present active indicative right there.
Rachel?
Okay. Laudatis.
Mhm.
The res
Mhm.
is I think the second person singular passive
Yep.
ending. Okay.
So,
You had been praised.
you are praised. Had been would be too perfect. We have present. You are praised.
Okay. You are praised.
And then Corey, 35.
So would that be you are tried?
Except it's passive in form, active in meaning. It's a
That-
component.
Oh yeah. So you try.
You've got. Yep. So there are no new forms to learn, but even in the wild of doing the very, very contained, state park of doing your exercises, you will find
Killing with metaphors.
Part of your exercises.
you will find that you really have to first memorize this vocab and be very confident about what is a regular verb and what is deponent.
Quick question.
Please.
What are the 4 semi-deponent verbs?
There's audeo and soleo, and those are 2 I put on your on your presentation. And 2 seconds. I will.
Okay. Yeah, because they didn't put it in the chapter. Maybe in the vocab notes.
I think. Audeo audere aususum. Fido fidere fisusum. To trust, which I don't know that I've seen in the indicative ever.
Okay.
Gaudeo gaudere gavisusum. To rejoice. Which you do see a lot. And then soleo solere solitusum. To be accustomed.
Are there any irregular dependent verbs?
No.
No. Okay.
Um,
That's good.
Yeah.
So how would you translate gaudete?
Rejoice.
I just heard just to
It's an imperative.
like what form? That's an okay.
Gaudete.
Okay. Yeah.
Second
Okay,
person
cool.
plural.
Because at a mass, the priest was singing that, and I was like, I don't actually know what that means.
Yeah.
But
Okay. So there's a Gaudete Sunday,
Yes.
which is when is that?
Yeah, I did ethnographic research for my senior thesis on a Catholic community, and I'm not Catholic at all, so I had like a crash course in
Yeah.
Catholicism,
Gaud-
and so I vaguely remember things.
Gaudete Sunday is the third Sunday in Advent.
Okay.
And the priest wears pink. Laetare Sunday is the fourth Sunday in Lent, pretty sure. Almost
Okay.
positive. And the priest also wears pink on that Sunday. So you take a break. They say it's rose, but rosa means pink in Latin. So I'm sorry, but it means pink.
That's right. The priest is like,
Get over
he's like,
yourself.
it's not pink.
It's not pink,
We're all
it's rose.
okay,
And I'm like,
Monsignor.
yeah, rosa is a color in Latin. Your vestments are in Latin. Rosa means pink. It means rose. That's not a color. You can have white roses. Anyway. So Laetare Sunday is another rejoicing Sunday. And Gaudete is the second person plural. Laetare is what form?
That's the infinitive.
It looks
The
like
present.
an infinitive, but
It's not. It's a command. It's an imperative.
it's a
So-
command. It's an imperative. It's a second person.
Praise.
Yeah.
You praise.
So the deponent laetor, laetare, laetatus sum is to rejoice also. So laetare
Okay.
is a second person singular imperative that is passive form but active in meaning. So laetare doesn't mean we rejoice, but it means rejoice. Glad.
Cool.
Yes. Okay. And then we have very little time, so I will ask you to look at page 180 with me. I didn't create a slide for that. So there are three more irregular verbs, and they tell you actually in all the other tenses besides the present, indicative and present subjunctive, they act just like third conjugations. They say these actually belong to the third conjugation. I've always heard that they're actually regular, but whatever. It doesn't really matter how we categorize them. They just have irregulars, indicatives, and subjunctives. And really the present indicative is a really weird one. So volo, vis, vult, volumus, vultis, volunt. And that means I want. And then nolo is actually non plus volo smashed together. So actually some of the forms aren't smashed, right? We have nolo and then non vis, because I suppose nis is too short and strange. Nolo, non vis, non vult, nolumus, non vultis, nolunt, right? So no volo I want, nolo I don't want. And then malo is the same as magis volo, so I want more or I prefer. So malo means I prefer. Malo, mawis, mawult, malumus, mawultis, malunt. So yeah. So you should learn those forms. I think on one of the, no, I don't know. I think I know this on one of the Crusades. I have no idea which, or maybe all of them, or something. The Crusaders would say Deus vult, Deus vult. I'm sure they said because they're in the Middle Ages. Right? So Deus vult means volo vis vult.
God willing.
God wants, not God willing. Deo volente, that would be with God willing. That would have split with the participle.
What a claim.
But God wishes it, yeah. God desires. Okay, yes. And actually, now, maybe the perfect, I said perfect, who knows why. The negative imperatives will make sense. Because noli actually the imperative of nolo. So if you tell someone to not do something, you tell them noli facere something. So you really use of nolo plus the infinitive. Be unwilling to do something. But we translate that as don't do something.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just double check your homework. That is not your homework. Um, for a quiz, let us say you shall have a quiz on a parsing quiz on verbs from this unit, unit 11.
So parsing from verbs in this unit.
Yes.
Okay.
And so that will mean you will have to know very well whether the verb is dependent or not. And when you're parsing, for me, it will say voice, and you'll get to a deponent and say, "Oh no, I don't know. Is it active? Is it passive? Because it's active and passive in form, but active in meaning." I would just prefer if you write for voice deponent, and that tells me I know it's.
Okay.
I can see it's a passive in form, but I know it's active in meaning.
Okay.
And then for number 2, why don't you just do 1 and 5? Don't you do that?
Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Yep. See you tomorrow.
All right, see you tomorrow.
All right. Take care.
And Rachel?
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to do the test today?
That's the goal.
Okay. Okay. That'd be great.
Yeah, so I should get done today.
Okay. Thank you.
Cool. See you tomorrow.